Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a historic moment in Formula One that has left fans and drivers alike in shock. Kevin Magnussen has become the first driver in F1 history to receive a total of 12 penalty points, leading to a suspension that will keep him out of the upcoming Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This decision has sparked outrage not just from Magnussen but also from the racing community at large. Let's break down what happened, why it matters, and the implications for Magnussen and his team. Kevin Magnussen is the first driver in Formula One history to get a total of 12 points for a penalty. This will prevent him from competing in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which is scheduled to take place. To say that he was angry when he found out is the same of insulting him. It caused Magnussen to feel a great deal of anger, not only towards the FIA but also towards his team, because they had caused him pain after the race. Following a series of accidents, Romain Grosjean, who had previously been his teammate on the Haas team, was permanently barred from competing in races in the year 2012. This, however, was before the new system for calculating penalty points in Formula One was implemented. The current policy is that if you accumulate 12 penalty points in a single year, you will be disqualified from racing. In Jeddah, Magnussen was involved in an accident with Alex Albon's Williams, which resulted in him receiving his first 3 penalty points for the 2020 season. In addition to the 2 that he received for the accident that occurred in Shanghai with Yuki Tsunoda, he was also awarded 3 more for the sprint race that took place in Miami. As a result of his frequent and unjustified departures from the racecourse while he was competing against Lewis Hamilton, Magnussen and Haas, much like they did in Jeddah, slowed down their opponents in order to assist partner Hülkenberg in scoring points. At the Miami Grand Prix, Magnussen was able to earn 2 additional points by removing Logan Sargent from the competition. This resulted in a total of 10 points for him. With a total of, Magnussen is the first driver to attain this milestone. Due to the fact that he caused a collision with Pierre Gasly during the Italian Grand Prix that took place yesterday and was 10 seconds late, he was awarded the final 2 points. Despite the fact that he was given a penalty, Magnussen nevertheless managed to finish in 10th place, 0.1 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso. Nevertheless, that won't be sufficient to make him feel better in any way. On the subject of the fine and the racing suspension, the officials made the following statement. During the inspection, the stewards viewed video and video recordings taken from inside the vehicles. Car 20 attempted to pass Car 10 on the inside as it moved closer to turn 4. However, its front axle was past Car 10's mirror, which is against the laws of the road. Car 10 was able to avoid the collision. A vehicle that is overtaking another vehicle is required to drive in a manner that is both safe and careful during the entirety of the maneuver as stipulated by the rules. However, the authorities came to the conclusion that this was not the case for Automobile 20, which meant that the driver was entirely to blame for the collision. Following that, the motorist was handed the typical penalty as well as several penalty points. As a reminder, participants have the ability to appeal certain decisions issued by the stewards in accordance with Article 15 of the FIA International Sporting Code and Chapter 4 of the FIA Judicial and Disciplinary Rules. However, they are only allowed a limited period of time to do so. Decisions made by the stewards are not influenced by the Financial Institutions Authority FIA, and they are solely based on the regulations, standards, and facts that are given. Then, in the hours that followed the Italian race, the International Federation of Automobile Manufacturers FIA announced that he would unquestionably be banned from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix if he got 12 points. Ole Behrmann, a young driver for Ferrari and a driver for Haas in 2025, will have the opportunity to drive for Haas earlier than anyone else. In the event that Behrmann does not compete in Formula 2, as he did when he made his debut in Formula 1 with Ferrari in Jeddah, this is the case. However, he is required to compete in the last race of the IndyCar season with Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing, which will take place in Nashville over the Baku weekend. Before Magnussen, no Formula 1 driver had ever been banned from a race, despite the fact that Gasly had come close to being banned in the past. However, several Formula 2 drivers have been suspended from races after receiving 12 penalty points. Consequently, this resulted in a review of the system, during which it was promised that they would only be utilized for incidents involving drivers and not for errors in the manner in which things were carried out. Kevin Magnussen has expressed his confusion on the reason for the FIA's decision to punish him by preventing him from competing in the upcoming Azerbaijan Grand Prix, due to the fact that he was entirely to blame for the collision that occurred with Pierre Gasly at the Roger Chicane during the Italian Grand Prix. On Sunday, he was given a time penalty of 10 seconds and 2 penalty points on his super license. This will result in a prohibition on racing. When the Haas driver competed at Monza on Sunday, he finished in 10th place. As Albon's penalty was being served, he dropped behind Williams' Alex Albon, leaving only 0.2 of a second separating the Dane and Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin. Immediately following the conclusion of the race, the FIA reached a decision regarding the collision that he had with Gasly. In addition to receiving 2 penalty points on his super license, he was also issued a time penalty. As a result of Magnussen's infractions that occurred prior to this year, he currently possesses 12 points, which implies that he is ineligible to participate in any more races. The first driver following the accident is him. The impolite driver was taken aback by the fact that he was being punished for something that he considered to be of equal or greater severity, even before he was certain that he would be disqualified from the competition. Have you become enraged by the punishment? I am completely clueless about what that implies. When asked about his reaction on Sunday at Monza, Magnussen stated that he was completely perplexed. Into the fourth corner, Gasly and I were racing at a high speed. We took a brief conversation. The turn was missed by both of us. I received a 10-second penalty for coming back onto the course. Neither of our vehicles had any damage, and neither of us had any impact on the outcome of the race. The following drivers to complete the first lap were Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg. When Ricciardo hit Nico in the grass at a speed of 300 kilometers per hour, Nico's race was ruined. Nico's vehicle sustained significant damage, and Ricciardo was given a 5-second penalty for his actions. What exactly is the point? I don't understand what you're saying. When he was informed by the media that he would not be able to travel to Baku, they inquired about the options available to him in this situation. The response that Magnussen gave was, "Come back to Singapore." No points for punishment have been awarded to me. Only the fact that you awarded me 2 points is known to me. From that particular source, I have not heard it. I have always stated that I would not be hesitant. This is completely illogical. You won't be seeing me again because I've earned a point today. Magnussen was informed by Gasly that he regrets Magnussen's loss. I'm a little caught off guard. That's why he made an effort. In some cases, there existed a wheel-to-wheel. Moreover, in the end, he stated, "I didn't waste any time," and I agree with him. It was also said by the Alpine driver that he did not want Magnussen to be disqualified. Gasly concluded by saying, "I hope they can change their minds about that in some way." It would be completely unfair to do that. On the other hand, Magnussen will not benefit from these apologies and explanations. Just a request from his team is sufficient. It is possible that you recall that I stated at the beginning of the film that Magnussen was a shady and cruel individual. It is true that this took place. Haas has abruptly announced that it would not be contesting the judgment despite the fact that Kevin Magnussen has already been disqualified from competing in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix racing event. It's actually quite peculiar, and it seems as though they don't care about it. Magnussen was awarded 2 penalty points by the stewards in Italy for hitting Pierre Gasly at the turn 4 for the incident. Magnussen, on the other hand, finished in 10th place, despite the fact that both drivers were able to continue without any issues. Although he was given a 10-second time penalty, he managed to get his first points since the Austrian tournament. Since his time in Miami, Magnussen has been striving to improve his discipline and become more disciplined. In addition to the 5 penalty points he already had, he now has a total of 10 penalty points. 12 penalty points result in an automatic suspension for 1 race. It is the first time in the history of Formula One that a driver has been disqualified for violating the new rules, which came into effect before the 2014 season. It has been decided that Magnussen's super license would be revoked in Baku. Nevertheless, it will return the following week for the Singapore Grand Prix, although it will not be able to earn any points. In response to the news that was made public, Haas issued a statement. Haas's whole commentary on the fines and racing ban that Kevin Magnussen received. It was a satisfying accomplishment to earn a point in this competition, particularly at Monza, which is a track with a low downforce. Ayal, the manager of the team, stated, "We haven't been competitive in the past, so this shows how well we work together to make a competitive low downforce package." In addition, it was remarkable how forcefully Kevin fought after being informed that he had been given a penalty, and how he then opened up a 10-second gap between himself and Fernando Alonso. Additionally, he was near to Albon, which made the fight a lot of fun. Kevin, on the other hand, should not have been placed there behind Gasly given the circumstances. Our execution was not very good, and we need to work on improving that aspect of our performance. We had no control over the situation. On the bright side, both drivers reported that the vehicle was impressive, particularly in terms of how steady it was, which enabled them to push. Because Kevin received 2 penalty points after the race, he will be prohibited from competing in Baku for a period of 1 year. There is no way that they are going to assist Magnussen. You could be wondering, but why? That is a straightforward inquiry. The young Formula 2 driver Behrman, who will be joining Haas the next year, is the primary focus of this matter. Providing him with complete control of the vehicle for the entirety of the weekend is certainly the most effective approach to get him up to speed. It is worth noting that Haas too held the same opinion. In spite of the fact that it may not have been courteous or kind to do that to Magnussen, and that he may be angry about it, it turns out to be beneficial for Haas. I'm curious as to your thoughts on that. Does it not bother you at all? Also, are you able to comprehend the reason why Magnussen is so enraged? Please share your thoughts by filling out the form below. And that's the full story of Kevin Magnussen's controversial penalty and suspension from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Whether you agree with the FIA's decision or think it's too harsh, there's no denying that this event will go down in F1 history. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Do you think the punishment fits the crime? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest in Formula 1. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.